Track events. An introduction. Track events are closely related to field events. This packet will deal with 5 traditional track events: the dash, the steeplechase, the hurdle, the relay race, and the distance race. Running as a sport did not become popular in America until 1871, when the first track meet was held in New York City. Eventually, track and field events became so popular that the Intercollegiate Association of Amateur Athletics in America, the ICAAA, and the National Collegiate Athletic Association, the NC2A, were organized to govern or oversee these events and the rules that control them. History of track sports. Early human beings were forced by their environment to run. They both ran after animals when hunting for food and ran from other animals who were themselves hungry. This running consisted of jumping over bushes, fallen trees, ditches, and other obstacles. Hunting and gathering techniques were taken into battle, as skirmishes between tribes made survival important. In between hunting parties and wars, running and jumping became leisure time activities that people chose to do as athletic events. Sometimes the object was to compete against others. At other times, the athlete simply wanted to test himself or herself. Running events were recorded in Greece as early as 776 BC. They were also part of athletic competition throughout the Middle Ages and on through the Renaissance and into modern times. Over 2,000 years after the earliest Greek track events, in 1912, the International Amateur Athletic Federation, the IAAF, was founded to function as the governing body for track and field sports all over the world. Today, as many as 25 events may be included in a track and field meet. The track events at the championship level include the 100, 200, 400, 800, 1500, 5,000, and 10,000 meter runs, the 3,000 meter steeplechase, the 110 and 400 meter hurdles, and the 400 and 1500 meter relays. How different track events are done. The dash. Dashes, or short runs, are also called sprints. The athlete must attain maximum speed in minimum time in order to compete successfully in these races. Like many field events, dashes are deceptively simple. Almost everyone has run fast at some point in his or her life, but competition-level runners in the dash must develop superior stamina, flexibility, and muscular strength. The dash is not as simple as it looks. Here's how it's done. Number 1. Getting off to a good start in short races is crucial. Many races are lost at the starting line. The rules require that you start in a crouch position with both feet and both hands placed on the track with your heels placed against the starting block. These starting blocks are anchored to the ground and are adjustable to runners of every size and height. The block gives you a solid base from which to push off. Number 2. At the command, "On your mark," place your feet on the starting block. Number 3. At the second command, "Set," lift your body until your back is almost parallel to the ground with the hips slightly above the level of the shoulders. This is called the ready position. Number 4. As the starting gun is fired, push off from the starting block with explosive force, keeping the body forward and the head low at the beginning of the run. Both psychological and physical considerations enter into the running dash. Both psychological and physical considerations enter into running the dash. Being aware of the competition's strengths and weaknesses is as critical as being a skilled and aggressive runner. Patience and determination are also essential attributes for the competitive runner in this event. The hurdle. Hurdle competition is not running and leaping, but making running leaps over the hurdles. You do not jump over the hurdle. Instead, as you reach the hurdle, you lift your legs and tuck them up so that they barely clear the top of the crosspiece. Traditionally, there are 2 types of hurdle races: the 120-yard, which is 110 meters, high hurdle, and the 440-yard, or 403-meter, intermediate hurdle. The hurdles are 42 inches high in the 120-yard event and 36 inches high in the 440-yard event. The distance from the starting line to the first hurdle is 49¼ yards. The 10 hurdles are placed at 38¼ yard intervals across the running lanes. Here's how to do the hurdles. Number 1. As you cross a hurdle, your body will be leaning forward. The arm opposite the lead leg crosses the hurdle first. If the left leg leads, the right arm crosses the hurdle first. Number 2. As you cross the hurdle, tuck your legs up so that they barely clear the top of the hurdle. Number 3. After you have crossed the hurdle, land so that the body's weight will still be forward, in front of the lead leg. Landing with the weight so far forward can throw a careless runner off balance. Thus, it is often recommended that the left leg becomes the lead. Number 4. Continue running with no interruption of your rhythm to the next hurdle. If you do this maneuver correctly, your upper body will barely move vertically as you cross the hurdle. Relay racing. Relay racing, or teamwork racing, uses a 4-person team of sprinters, each of whom runs approximately the same distance. The first person to run is the lead-off, and the last to run, usually the best runner on the team, is called the anchor. Even a team with 4 fast runners isn't assured of victory. Relay racing demands not only speed but teamwork. The crux of relay racing is the act of passing a baton or stick to the next team member without dropping it and without losing speed during the pass. If the baton is dropped, the runner who dropped it is disqualified and his or her team finishes last. If speed is lost in the passing of the baton, positions can be lost. The visual pass and the blind pass are 2 types of passes used in relay racing. Here's how the 2 passes are done. The visual pass. Number 1. The receiver of the baton starts running so that his or her speed will match that of the oncoming runner. Number 2. As the 2 runners approach each other, the receiver looks over his or her shoulder and extends the receiving arm back toward the oncoming runner. The receiver has his or her palm up as the pass takes place. Number 3. The oncoming runner passes the baton to the receiver, who then moves ahead and continues the race. Number 4. The oncoming runner quickly slows down and leaves the track. The blind pass. Number 1. The receiver starts running as the oncoming runner approaches. Number 2. As they draw near to each other, the receiver waits for the baton holder to run about 7 inches from him or her and then begins to move forward. Number 3. The receiver, meanwhile, moves with the receiving arm extending back toward the passer. As the pass is made, the receiver pulls the baton from the passer's hand and runs faster as the passer slows down. Long distance running. Distance running refers to races over 800 meters and longer. Middle distance races are generally designated as those between 800 and 2,000 meters. Long distance races are those of 3,000 meters or more. Regardless of the actual number of meters involved, however, distance running requires endurance, stamina, tremendous concentration, and self-pacing to prevent exhaustion. A runner in a middle distance race must learn to relax while using a controlled leg movement. He or she must also master optimum hip rotation and learn to adjust the stride. A shorter stride if the race is slow, and a longer one for a faster pace. Each mile in a race can be divided into 4 segments. The first segment is a brisk run. The second segment is taken at a comfortable stride. The third segment is run at a stride that allows the runner to conserve energy, while the fourth segment starts slowly but ends with a burst of speed. The third segment is often considered the most critical part of the mile because it is the point where many runners are tiring, both physically and mentally. Long-distance runners need good judgment and a keen eye for assessing the abilities of other runners on the track. They also need to develop a game plan for winning each race. The steeplechase. This event requires that the athlete combine the skills of a hurdler and the endurance of a long-distance runner. The steeplechase consists of running and jumping over 28 hurdles and 7 water jumps. In the Olympic Games, this race is approximately 3,280 yards long. Originally, the name steeplechase referred to a country horse race over obstacles. Eventually, English students began to attempt the race on foot, and in 1889 the event was introduced in the United States. Equipment and clothing. Track is traditionally light in weight and allows complete freedom of movement. This usually means tank tops or sleeveless shirts. The bottom hem of track shorts is well above the knee, and sometimes the shorts have slits up the sides. Shoes are especially important since different events require different shoe designs. The soles of the shoes are cleated.